1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Infatuasian podcast. This is a show where we illuminate and elevate Asian culture and creator. We have a couple special guests today. We have a special co-host today, back for a second time. It's Allison Lee. Hey, Allison.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Jamie. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'll tell you why I thought of you immediately reading Jamie's book. But if you guys remember Allison is a licensed social worker here in Los Angeles. Well, you were raised in Los Angeles, but you're in the San Gabriel Valley. And you have a mental health practice that helps first and second generation children of immigrants heal and build healthy relationships with those around them. Welcome back, Allison.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the reason I thought of you was because I think like in the third page of My Mother, the Mermaid Chaser, we hear about Jane and how she's in therapy, and that's kind of a new thing for her. Mm-hmm. And her brother's kind of like, wait, therapy? We don't do that. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I thought of you. I was like, oh, I got to get Allison on the call.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, I couldn't put the book down. So once I started reading it, I couldn't. So I was so glad to be thought of. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Yeah. And that other voice you're hearing is Jamie Jo Hoang, 3-time author now. This is your third book. And so coming out, I think this podcast isn't coming out for a while, so it should already be out there. So everyone can get a copy of My Mother, the Mermaid Chaser, and it's a companion book to My Father, the Panda Killer. So we're talking to Jamie Jo Hoang. Hey, Jamie.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I have been listening to the other podcasts, and I've had so many revelations just listening. Like I listened to Adonis.
Yeah.
And oh man, I remember growing up and I have cousins who like have Adonis's accent. Uh-huh. And I remember, when I got older, people would say like, "Oh, you can't talk like that." And I think I fixed a lot of how I speak, kind of unknowingly. I don't know. Uh-huh. But my cousins in Colorado, they still, we have an accent like that's like it's how we just grew up speaking. And it was the first time that I heard someone articulate why Asians speak that way and how like, hey, like this is natural for us. We're not pretending.
You're not copying.
Like, yeah. And I wanted to clap so hard. I was just like,
yeah, that's cool. So if people haven't listened to that one, it's Adonis, Filipino guy, grew up in Daly City, San Francisco. But people clap on his accent, kind of saying, "Why you talk like that?" And he says, "That's just how we talk to where I grew up."
Yeah,
and you're not trying to be anything. You're just you're just living. You're living your life. So yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And now you get to be on your own episode, so this is going to be fun.
I'm so excited.
Super fun. Hey, where are you calling in from today?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Is it starting to cool down? I know it's super hot in the summer and muggy.
So we got like 2 trick days where it was really nice and cool, and you thought, ooh, fall's here.
Fake fall.
And then, fake fall. That's exactly what they call it.
Yeah.
Fake fall.
Yeah.
It lasts for about a week. And then a heat wave's coming back, so we're just about to melt again.
Okay. All right, hot take. Someone told me Houston is maybe under the radar Asian food central. Like in a way, like Asian food really good there, but people don't talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a secret. Maybe because we don't want to share. I don't know.
It's super under the radar. Yeah, we don't know.
No, Michelin just returned to Texas.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if they were never here but so recently Michelin came and we got like 10 restaurants in Houston got I think 3 got like actually Michelin stars and then 10 were designated as like
recommended.
Michelin gave them props. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but the Asian food here has gotten so good. We have like an Asia town and like it's Korean food, Japanese food, Vietnamese food. And it's like homegrown but elevated or still home.
Huh.
Like you're just seeing all of this. I guess our generation, right? Like
Yeah.
taking our family food to like the next level. It's really cool to see.
Nice.
People should come, but don't make me have to wait in line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Don't give us your secret spots. Yeah.
That's really cool though, because you've been in OC and LA and now Houston, which is all Asian dominated food. And for you to like
Yeah.
Houston that much, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's people often ask me why I moved here, and truly, like, listen, Texas has a bad rap for a lot of things and for good reason, but the people here are really genuine. Like, I remember the first time I got here, someone invited, I started a new writers class, and I didn't know anyone, and these two of my classmates came up to me and they're like, "Hey, do you want to come have dinner at my house?" And I was like, "Wait, like you're inviting me to your house? Like we just met. I could be a serial killer."
Right.
No.
Right.
So I was just like, "Oh, thanks," but and it was very LA of me, right? Like, "Oh, no, maybe next time." And then they asked again, and I was like, I think they would genuinely actually want me to come to dinner. And then I told them about this afterwards because they were like, "Yeah, we asked you a couple times." And I was like, "Yeah, you guys were like aggressively nice." And they're like, "Yeah, that's a Texas thing."
I guess.
But that's kind of the difference to me is like people here really mean it. They want you to just come hang out, and like when they meet you, their first question is not generally like, "Oh, what do you do?" It's like, "Hey, what do you like? What's happening?"
Okay.
And so you're just not on guard as
Huh.
much. Yeah, I like people here.
Okay.
It's a cool city.
Yeah. I've
Just
only
don't
been
look at the
once.
politics.
Oh yeah, politics. Okay. But yeah, I've only been once, and I think when I went, I was like, "Oh, I have to have barbecue, I have to have Tex-Mex." And I didn't think to try to find Asian food, because I just didn't
Oh
think
yeah.
of Asian food in Houston. But next time I go, I got to call you up. I'm going to say, "Jamie, give me some recommendations for some good
I'll
Houston."
slip you my list.
Okay. All right. Everyone out there, or people in Houston, email me if you're listening right now. Give me your list. Allison, you want to go to Houston?
Yeah, I haven't been. I've only been to Dallas and Austin.
Okay.
Oh, you're missing out.
You're missing out. You're missing out.
I mean, Austin's pretty great too. They have really good food too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. All right. So let's dig back into your childhood, or let's go your ethnic roots. 100% Vietnamese?
I've never done the DNA test,
Uh-huh.
partly because if I commit crimes later,
Yeah, right.
I don't want to get caught.
You don't want to be in the network.
Yeah. Although now I think it doesn't matter. Like if your sibling does it, you're screwed.
They got you. They got you.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we have some French in us because I have on my dad's side, some of my aunts and uncles have like blonde hair and blue eyes.
Really?
Which is wild, yeah. And my grandpa had these amazing gray eyes, which I was just like, why did you not pass that down? How awesome would I look with gray eyes? Right?
Yeah.
Nobody has gray eyes.
Yeah.
So I think we definitely have some French
Okay.
in there somewhere.
Yeah. Allison found out later in life. She thought she was half Chinese, half Vietnamese.
Yeah, my whole life. Actually, up until college. Yeah, because my parents speak Chu Chao and Vietnamese, so I thought I was half-half. But my grandparents came from China to Vietnam, and my parents were born in Vietnam, so they knew Vietnamese and Chinese. And then I thought I was half-half until college. I had to write an essay, and I was like asking my parents, and I was like, "Wait, what? I'm actually Chinese. I'm not even Vietnamese."
Okay, so Houston has a huge
Uh-huh.
populace. Like it's big here. I had no idea, and they are so tight knit and like connected in like that way where obviously they came together to really build the community. And I think all of the Asia Town that you see in Houston is a result of their close network connect. I might be making some of that up, but it's what I've heard
It's what
through the
you.
grapevine.
Yeah. Okay.
And like the business owners, they like, when you think about like economic development in a new area, you kind of wonder like, well, who
How did this
built
start?
that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like in Orange County, it was I think it was a Chinese Vietnamese person who opened up the Asian Garden Mall, right? In like the early 80s, I want to say.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And just totally changed that whole area,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then here, I think it's the same thing. It was like a group of Asian investors who, believed in Asian products and
Yeah.
Asian food and have created like a booming economy here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, neat. All right. So, as far as you know, Vietnamese, maybe a little French. Grew up where? Where'd you grow up?
So I was born in Denver.
Okay.
I have roots in Denver, but I would move to Orange County, California when I was 5.
Okay.
And lived in California, went to college in California, and then moved to Texas in 2011. I wrote my first book here. Yeah, I moved here. My sister was here doing a postdoc at Rice, and I moved here not knowing anyone. Just I moved to kind of give myself a fresh start. Like I had been working 2 jobs at MGM and then as this motocross producer, and I was just like, if I'm going to really give this writing thing a go, I really need to like buckle down. So I was like, I'm going to move. I don't know anybody. I will have no distractions since I have no friends. And I wrote my first book here.
Yeah.
And then I moved back to California because my sister was done with her postdoc. And then, I don't know, I liked it so much that I came back.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
All right. So getting into that a little bit. So you figured out you wanted to be a writer during college or after? Once you started working, you're like, this isn't it. I want to be a writer. Where did the writing thing come in?
Okay, so that's kind of a funny story. So in college, I got into UCLA undeclared. And I remember I was like walking around campus, and the film school is like really far north campus. It's like the farthest north campus you can get, right? But they have this beautiful sculpture garden. And I was just kind of hanging out in the garden. And then I walked into the film school lobby. And I remember there was an application like on the wall. And so I picked it up and I was like, I think it said on it like, UCLA's film and TV program is really exclusive. They only take 30 students a year, 15 from within UCLA and 15 from outside of UCLA. But, good luck. It was kind of like how it's put, right? So I took the application and I went home and I applied. My roommate at the time, who's my neighbor now, actually, she helped me write my essay. And I just kind of thought nothing of it, right? I was like, 15 people, no chance. Also, like at this time, like I had probably only seen like 20 movies in my life, right? Like we didn't really grow up watching movies because going to the movies was really expensive. We had a Blockbuster card, but we were only watching like the stuff that was really old. I think I had 5 VHS tapes that we just sort of watched on
rotated,
repeat, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so I applied and I sort of thought like, there's no way. But I got to the interview. They got an interview. And I remember I was sitting outside waiting for my turn. And this girl came out who later ended up being in my class. But she came out and then the administrator came out after her. And she was like, we just need 10 minutes to reset and we'll call you in, right? But she was like, this administrator had tears in her. I mean, she was crying. And I was like, oh my God, that girl before me made them cry. No chance I'm getting it now, right? Like I can't
Following that, yeah.
And so I go in and I'm already like, oh, crap, like
yeah.
This is going badly very quickly. And the first thing they ask me, right, which is supposed to be an easy question if you're not me, they're like, what are your, just like a softball question, what are your 5 favorite movies? Complete blank, right? And also I'm like super nervous that if I say serendipity, they're just going to kick me out right away. Right. And so I would like in the lobby, they had posters and there was a poster of it was called The Girl with the Pearl Earring.
Right.
And I remembered the title and I said it. I was like, oh, The Girl with the Pearl. Because I was like, well, obviously they love this movie. It's on their poster, right? And then I had this moment of panic where I was like, if they ask me any
I don't
questions
even
about
know.
this movie,
I
I'm
don't even
totally
know.
like done for. But thankfully, that movie was edited by a UCLA faculty, and they were so
Okay.
excited that it was my favorite movie that they started telling me about the movie, and I just kind of skated through that question.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like several miracles.
Oh, wow.
And then it came to my essay, and as soon as the administrator pulled it out, she started crying again, and she started telling me about the impact of the essay, and it was a 5-page scene about my mom getting a phone call from her parents in Vietnam, learning that my uncle had been sent back to a re-education camp. And I realized then that her tears from before, they were actually from having read my essay.
Oh, wow.
And she told me that it like really emotionally impacted her. And that essay, I'm sure, is the only thing that got me in. So I ended up going to film school.
Oh, wow. Was she Viet or was she?
No, she was this like older white lady. She had like curly hair. She kind of reminded me of I have an American grandmother who kind of adopted my parents when they got here.
Okay.
She kind of reminded me of her. Like maybe, I don't know,
Maybe
souls leaping.
maybe she's got some stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was so like I would say like she probably like single-handedly just changed the trajectory of my life, right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I got into film school.
All
So
right.
you're just really good at writing, like without much practice.
I went back to reread. It wasn't that good.
Something about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to. We'll go to My Father the Panda Killer first. I mean, we kind of do it at the same time in a way because they're parallel. Companion, is that what you call it? They're companion books, not necessarily sequel and prequel, but they're companion to each other, same family. Let me read a synopsis. Actually, the synopsis is so vague, it could probably be for either of the books.
Yeah.
But it's told in alternating voices. In Panda Killer, it's Jane and Fook the dad. And then in Mermaid Chaser, it's Paul and Ngoc Lan, is that?
Yeah.
And so these are told in their perspectives in alternating voices, and it tells a story about war and its impact across generations and how American teenagers forge paths forward, accepting heritage and themselves. Do you want to add to that at all?
I would say like My Mother the Mermaid Chaser is so the reason why I wrote these two books as companion books, as separate books, is because I felt like within my own family, we like among my siblings, we have very different perspectives about like childhood and how we grew up and how we're navigating our lives as adults. And I really felt like I wanted to give sort of two entry points into this family story because Jane, I think, rightfully so, can be hard for some people to stomach. Like she's very brash and like kind of unforgiving in some ways. And I think if you have experience with abuse or like trauma, you are probably more inclined to understand her feelings. But if you haven't, then she can kind of seem like, whoa, what, she's intense. And the dad's story is quite intense also. But Paul is different, right? He's kind of a more gentle soul. He's introverted, a little more introspective. He offers a different perspective, and I think kind of a gentler foray into the family. So I feel like if it felt like too much to go through Panda Killer, you could enter a little more slowly, through Paul and
I agree.
the mother. And then, because they can be read interchangeably. You don't need to read one before the other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So with these books, obviously having very personal themes and experiences too, like how did you balance between, what was inspired by your family and your experiences versus like fiction and facts?
So the very first draft of Panda Killer, I would say, was like by and large kind of autobiographical. And then every draft after that became layered with fiction, right? So I took my like roller coaster of emotions and the sort of the journey, the arc that is the standard, boat person journey. And I started to overlay fiction over what my family had gone through. So none of it is like my actual family history. But it's all rooted in things that I've read about that happened to Vietnamese people, and the emotional context for like which I felt I guess growing up, like all of the emotions I felt as a teenager, living with my parents, and they were very difficult parents to like. There was a language barrier. My parents were abusive. It's hard for me to say that even now because I think, and I don't know, maybe this is going to sound like an excuse, but I feel like they really don't believe that they were abusive. And in a way,
yeah, I'm
like,
sure. Yeah.
I'm not saying that it excuses it, but it makes me more empathetic towards it. Like, I don't have as much spite for it because I don't think that they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And my siblings would argue the opposite, right? So it kind of goes back to that dynamic of like perspective. And for me, I think if there's like any great lesson I hope that people take away from these books is that I think whatever you have to do, whatever discussions you have to have to kind of center your peace, go with that. You don't like these books are not a prescriptive on how to find joy or like how to get through the trauma. It's just two different perspectives, and take what resonates with you and then ditch the rest,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was there a trip in your life? Was there a trip to Vietnam where eye-opening, met some relatives you didn't know very well?
Yeah, okay, so that part is true. In 2008, I went back to Vietnam for the first time, and I remember my dad was like, "Okay, we're gonna go to Ong Liam's house, and he's just so you're aware, he's a communist." And I was like, "What?
Yeah, like what?
Hold on, what?" Like I was just so confused, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I need this explained, but they weren't going to explain it because we're already like at the
Yeah.
doorstep, right? So we go and I'm like kind of nervous, right?
Right.
Because I'm thinking military, right? He's going to be super strict. I better
Yeah.
stand up straight. I better, like address him properly, which I'm really bad at anyway.
Same here. Addressing people is difficult in Vietnamese.
It's so hard.
You had the glossary in the back of the book.
Yeah. And even then I mess it up. But we go in and he's like the gentlest, nicest man you will ever meet. Like, I was just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
So we left that dinner and I asked my dad, I was like, how have I never heard about this person before? And B, like how can you be so jovial with one another?
Yeah.
And he said, after the war, my great uncle was the first person to return from the North to check on the family. When we go back in search of our roots, it's like this twofold I don't know, double-edged sword, right? On the one hand, you really want to learn about the heritage and the culture, and on the other hand, you've grown up your whole life thinking that like the communists are evil and like this regime is, and to be fair, like, they did horrible things.
Right.
So it's not wrong. Like it's not like you were fed lies, but if we're going to reconcile, I think there's something to be said about like, how I don't know how we do that.
Yeah.
But I saw it happen, so I know
Yeah.
it's possible.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think it always is kind of like civil wars are kind of because it's not even everyone's fight in a way, like a lot of people were just geographically Southern.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it wasn't necessarily their fight, but they fought because, their way of life or whatever. But when it's all said and done, it's like, well, we lost, but we're still family, we're still Vietnamese. And
Or you just lived on the other side, right? Like
yeah,
not everyone in my family was like a soldier,
right.
right? Some of them were
Right.
just kids. So there's kind of that too. It's interesting because I went back to Vietnam recently with my husband and my kid, and we went up to Phan Xipah, which is I guess the highest point in Vietnam.
Okay.
And at the top, we like sort of set ourselves up to take a family photo. And so it was me and my husband and my kid. And this, I don't know if he was a tour guide, but it was a Vietnamese guy. He, with a huge Vietnam flag, he like steps in behind us and he's like, "You're going to take a picture with this flag in the background." And the wind is blowing. So it's like full banner behind
Dramatic.
us. Right?
Yeah.
And if you know anything about the Vietnamese flag, in America, we have a different Vietnamese flag. It's a yellow flag with 3 red stripes.
Yeah.
And then the Vietnam flag is a red flag with a yellow star. And I took the picture because I wasn't going to be like, no.
Yeah.
But also that is the flag of the country.
Right.
So, and my dad immediately was like, "You can't post that picture. Like when you go home, you better not post it, right?" And I already knew this in my head, but then I was also thinking like, God, how odd, right? I don't go to any other country and try to hide from their flag.
Right.
Right? I don't go to Switzerland and duck from the flag.
Yeah.
I don't go to anywhere,
Yeah.
Ireland, Britain. And I just had this like kind of it felt kind of sad to me that in a weird way, it was very representative of growing up in America, right? Like having to hide your Vietnamese-ness.
Yeah.
And now you're in Vietnam having to hide your American-ness or like not feeling comfortable in it, right? So it's like you just never belong anywhere.
That's tough. Yeah, I had this question I was itching to ask was in the intro of the Panda Killer, you mentioned that you were going to call your dad and your dad didn't know about this book, although fiction. I was so curious what you did. Did you call him? How was his reaction?
Okay, so I didn't call him. I chickened out. But he came to the book launch. So my dad saw the book at the book launch in Long Beach. And, I did my sort of book talk with a friend author, Amy Meyerson. And my dad was sitting in the audience and we were talking about it. And I was like, and then afterwards, my dad and I kind of talked about it. And I was like, what do you think about the book, Dad? And he was like, Panda Killer, huh? And I was like, yeah, you don't look great. And he kind of just laughed about it. And my younger sister was like, Dad, look, here's a panda donut. Eat it. Because my friend he's like the donut king of Orange County.
Okay.
He owns DK Donuts. And so he brought, donuts and he made panda donuts in celebration of the book. And so I have this great picture of my dad eating a panda donut at the book launch. I think honestly, like my parents can't read English, so they're never going to read these books. But I think even though my dad knows that there's like some negative stuff in the book, they're really excited that the Vietnamese stories are being told. And in some ways, like they don't really care in what capacity.
Yeah.
They just want to like Vietnamese people to be remembered. They want
Yeah.
people to remember their struggles and to kind of hear about what happened. So yeah, it turned out okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
I think my parents would feel the same of like being happy just that some story about the Vietnamese experience is out there. I even was like curious if you'd like translate it to Vietnamese and then they could read the book.
I can't do that because my Vietnamese is like first grade level, and that might even be being generous to myself. Like yeah, but
Yeah.
I would be open to a Vietnamese person doing it.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. I don't know how it would do.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if like
Yeah.
Vietnam would be like, I don't think so.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So we have 2 in the books. We have My Father the Panda Killer, My Mother the Mermaid Chaser. Any chance of a trilogy? Is there another relative we can talk about?
Not right now.
Not
My
right now.
editor was like, "What about Jackie? What
Uh-huh.
about like what happened with Jackie?" And I was like, "Oh man,
Jackie.
I need some time before I get into
Yeah.
that friendship."
Yeah.
But maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm working on a different young adult book.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and in a lot of ways, Jackie is all of us, right? Jackie, is the voice of reason a little bit, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're like, yo, this is not okay.
What's going on? Yeah. I know.
All right. So everyone can get a copy of these books. They are great. I don't know if I told you the story. So your publicist, Joey, shout out Joey, sent me a copy of My Father the Panda Killer 2 years ago. And it sat for a while, like, because I got to do homework, I got to do the reading and stuff. So I was like, I'll get to it, and I never got to it. But then this summer, I needed a book to grab for a vacation I was taking. So I was like, oh, here's a little soft cover book I can grab. It's pretty small. So I grabbed it and I took it, and then I couldn't put it down. I'm on vacation, but I was reading it. And then right as I was on vacation, Joey sent another email about My Mother the Mermaid Chaser. And I was like, okay, I guess it's time to talk to Jamie Jo on this one.
Wow. It's good timing.
Yeah, it was good timing. Yeah. So, so this book is available. I think it's coming out September. So this episode, wait, what, September 26th? Is that the date?
It's September 23rd.
23rd. Okay. So it's coming out September 23rd. So this episode is going to be way after that. So everyone can get it wherever you get books. But I'm going to go ahead and give you congratulations, even though it hasn't come
Yes.
out yet. I think it's.
Can we call them beach reads now then?
I
Since you were
mean,
on vacation.
It's not a light read, everyone out there. It's not. I mean, they're page turners for sure. But yeah, it's not a light read. But Allison, what would you say?
What a great way to relax after reading something kind of heavy, though, right? Like you're at the
I
beach
guess.
and then you can relax and get back to it.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, I read some of it on my phone in the middle of the night while feeding my baby, and I went to sleep fine. So you can read it
Okay.
anywhere.
Yeah. And you're calling
I
them
love
young
that.
adult
Thank
books.
you.
You're calling them young adult reader books. But I feel like adults for sure would resonate with this. People in their 40s and 30s and 50s, like I think it would really reach to a lot of. You've heard this, right? You have a bigger audience, yeah.
I think with Mermaid, they are like doing a little bit more crossover marketing, because they agree. Like it's definitely a crossover. They're definitely crossover books. We went young adult because adults will read young adult books, but young adult readers don't read adult books.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And also for me, like growing up, my knowledge of Vietnam, it really came from what I learned in my like American history class. And so it felt really important to me to have a book that high schoolers could lean on as supplemental information when they're learning about Vietnam. Like I think there are so few countries that you get the context of that country through an American lens. Like just the fact that you think about we learn Vietnamese history in our American history class, and yet European history, Asia, it all has a separate category. so with growing up in America, that lens is the lens in which we see ourselves is colored by
100%.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I hope that, teachers will include it in their lesson plans so that it's like a companion piece to what they learn in class.
Yeah. Maybe we'll end on this quote that you pulled out of
Oh,
my
yeah.
mother, the mermaid chaser. I think this is an important one. You want to go ahead and read this one?
Yeah. I thought this is so profound that this is towards the end. That the quote is like, that's the thing about waiting so long to seek answers. Sometimes by the time we're ready to listen, the memories have faded or the person is no longer here. So like I mentioned, I ask my parents questions and want to get to know them, and I kind of have this sense of like regret or preemptive regret or sadness that I won't get to know them. But we talked about this earlier, where we also don't want to force them to share. But for those that do want to learn more about their family, their history, their parents, their heritage, like, is there any advice that you have for them in being able to get some of that?
When your parents sit down with their relatives, sit down next to them. There's usually like at a family gathering, there's always the parents' table and the kids' table.
Yeah.
If you go sit at the parents' table,
You'll
you
hear
will
this.
learn so much more
Yeah.
than if you stay at the kids' table. I learned almost everything I know about like what happened with my parents by like eavesdropping, essentially. So I guess I'm telling you to be sneaky.
Be a little sneaky. Yeah. No, makes
Yeah.
sense. All right. And then we end with our signature question, which you said might be hard for you to pick just one or two, but we ask our guests who their infatuation is. Infatuasian is anyone in the Asian community that you admire. Allison, I don't remember who you picked. Do you remember who you picked?
I picked Philip Wang from Wong Fu.
Oh, the Wong Fu guys, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Jamie Jo Hoang, who is your infatuation?
I'm picking Kavi Vu,
Oh, yeah.
who is an Instagrammer. She's
Yeah.
Vietnamese American, but she lives in Vietnam now. And she writes the most beautiful poetry that includes Vietnamese text with American context.
And definitions. Like she'll give you like definitions of stuff.
Yeah. And you learn to hear the language differently.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think especially as Vietnamese Americans, like I think I just kind of learned Vietnamese to know how to get by, like,
Right.
how to buy things, how to eat. And
Yeah.
she kind of highlights how poetic the language is.
Yeah.
Mm.
And something that I've always joked about with my other Vietnamese friends, when we speak Vietnamese, we sound really like harsh. Like it's like hard. And I sound louder than I usually am in English. And the way that she speaks on her videos, it's so soft and so kind and so poetic, and I feel so calm. And I was like, oh, I need to talk like this.
Yeah.
Have you heard her talk about that though? Like she'll say, I don't talk like this all the time.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. She actually, I don't know where she's from, but she sounds like she has a little street in her too. She's got a little urban street in her.
Yeah. I think so.
I think so too. Yeah, good pick. All right, shout out to Kavi. If you want to come on the podcast, we'll have you on anytime. Well, this has been a complete pleasure. Thank you, Jamie, for coming on with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a huge fan of the podcast. I also listened to the one about with I forget her name, but she was an import model.
Oh, Kyla, yeah.
Yeah. So I grew up with girls who were import models, and like listening to her talk about the industry was so fascinating. I think it made me go get the book immediately.
Oh,
so
okay.
I haven't read it yet, but I'm so excited to dive in.
Yeah.
Like
Fetish size.
I feel like we don't ever get to hear about that aspect, and like import models, like Asian import models were like so big. I mean, I don't know if they are still today because I don't follow, but the like Fast and the Furious, the race car, like all of that is part of that culture. And I had almost forgotten about it, you know?
And she was ground
So-
zero. Like she was right there.
Right? Yeah. So I'm really excited to read her book.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one too. Yeah, Kylie, you. Thanks for listening. But yeah, and Allison Lee, thanks for coming on a second time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for including me.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Did you enjoy the books?
I did, yeah. And I can't wait to finish the Panda Killer. Like I said, I was halfway through. I started yesterday, so I'm already halfway through.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Thank you for
Yeah.
suffering with me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Suffering and healing at the same time.
That's true.
Oh, I appreciate that.
That's true.
And
All right.
everything that you do. Social
Thank
work is
you.
really hard. My
Yeah.
sister does it too.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of admiration and appreciation for the healing that you do. You know, I
Mhm.
think like it's hard for us. And I think we're just now learning how to do it. So thanks for helping
Did you
Yeah,
be a
thank
part
you.
of that process.
Did you see the MTV Video Awards where Rose was thanking her
Oh.
therapist? Like that was like, and Ariana Grande too. They both thanked their therapist. So that was kind of for an Asian American, or well, she's not Asian American, but for an Asian woman in her 20s to say, "Hey, shout out to my therapist for helping me." That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I think it's like times are changing.
I think so.
and
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So everyone get a copy of the book wherever you get books. You can follow Jamie at Hey Jamie Reads on social media. Any other social media we should shout out for you, Jamie?
I'm on X, but not really.
Okay.
So
Instas.
find me on Instagram.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll pretend to be on TikTok, but I'm really not.
No.
I'm one of those like millennial holdouts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like, well, is it too late to join? And then by that point, it is too late to join.
Right.
Yeah, so you can follow her at Hey Jamie Reads, and for Allison, you can find her. This is interesting. Hey Allison Lee. You guys have the similar thing, and also the website heyallisonlee.com. Lots of information there, freebies, as well as you can find information about coaching. What else can we find there, Allison?
I have a podcast that I
Oh, that's
started when I
right,
was
yeah.
on leave. Yeah. It's since taken a pause because I wanted a break, but yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Empowered with Immigrant Parents podcast.
All right, yeah, check it
Oh,
out.
sweet.
Yeah, I forgot that you're a podcaster now, a fellow podcaster.
Yeah. I remember when we had our call, I told you I've been wanting to do it and I finally just did it. But
Yeah. So
yeah.
everyone go listen. Say the title one more time.
Empowered with Immigrant Parents.
Empowered with Immigrant Parents. Go check it out.
That's a great title.
Great
Thank you.
title. And if you want to write to us, you can write to us at infatuasianpodcast@gmail.com. Send me your Houston Asian food recommendations. You can also DM me over at Instagram at infatuasianpodcast. Thank you so much for listening to us. And on behalf of Jamie, Allison, and myself, we hope that you're all happy, healthy, and safe out there. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.